In the comments of a recent video in which I said Moira is the best support to play in order to rank up in the lower ranks, somebody asked me to make the same kind of video but for tanks, which is exactly what this video is. I'm going to be talking about which tank is an absolute must play when it comes to getting into Diamond. It's actually pretty obvious. All it takes is a quick look at the comp leaderboard to find out it's D.Va. She's a constant pick in top 500, being played all the way from rank 1 to rank 500. Par obviously a few players that are one tricks. Remember, this leaderboard is for console too, so it may be ever so slightly different on PC. Okay, so D.Va is the tank that you should be playing in order to climb, but why? Well, I'll explain that in a minute, but first I'm gonna ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. So, D.Va, where to begin? I suppose we could bring back the 3-pillar structure from the other video like this. I'm talking about survivability, versatility, and damage/healing output. Obviously, we'll be swapping the healing for mitigation in this case because, you know, she can't heal. All of her abilities make her absolutely amazing when it comes to all 3 of these pillars, being one of the best tanks at each of these. Obviously, there's tanks with higher damage and mitigation outputs than her, but it comes at a price. For example, yes, Bogur does have a self-heal ability and can do amazing damage, but he has longer cooldowns to account for this, whilst D.Va doesn't. Starting off with survivability, Defense Matrix is an absolutely amazing ability that mitigates all damage because it deletes projectiles. This means that yes, she can be countered by beam enemies like Zarya and Mei, but she can fall back when she's been demech'd. Unless she's been sandwiched, in that case just reset. It's quicker for everyone that way too. If she gets demech'd and has her ult, she has a short window where she can trade her ult for her mech back instantly after the explosion, saving her having to fight to get her mech back. This isn't the most difficult thing to do, but as you climb the ranks, fighting to get your mech back will get harder and harder, so it's a good thing to learn early. It's just one of these things that will help you in the long run, so if you get into the habit of doing that now rather than looking for kills in your ult, you'll see yourself staying alive for a lot longer and being able to be more useful to your team in a fight. Moving on to versatility, the best way to describe her playstyle is kinda like Tracer's. You deal a bit of damage as you slowly push up, and then when your team is ready to go in for a dive, you absolutely destroy the enemy team with your abilities. Don't be afraid to fly in, use your missiles, and then fly back out. At the end of the day, she's a dive tank who's meant to be played aggressively, but you can play her defensively with your defense matrix and baiting out abilities, etc. Hell, if you're lucky, you'll even eat entire ults like Vortex and Hanzo's dragons. It's an absolutely amazing ability that you should be using. Just make sure you balance your usage because it's on a meter like Moira's healing. Make sure you keep some of it and use it as and when you can. Don't just full send on mitigation. That's how you die. Last but not least is her damage/mitigation output, which is incredible. As I mentioned before, her defense matrix can be used to block all projectiles, literally deleting them if they get caught in it, including ults. Unlike a shield, defense matrix can't be broken per se, but as I said before, it's on a meter like Moira's healing, so use it wisely. It's really good for protecting both yourself and your teammates because it has really good range. So good that you can block enemy bullets when you're stood directly behind an enemy. It's very easy to average around 8 to 10k mitigation, just like it is to average around 8 to 10k damage. Now, her guns are pretty crappy at range and against shields, but up close they absolutely shred. And the best part? There's no reloading. She doesn't have an ammo cap, she just has infinite ammo, since you're really meant to use her missiles to deal huge chunks of damage. You can fire these whilst you're using your turrets and your defense matrix, meaning you can still deal damage whilst quote-unquote shielding. It's not an actual shield as such, but works pretty much the same way as one. This is what makes her an absolute must pick when climbing the ranks on tank. This is what makes her quote-unquote broken. She's not broken because, as I said before, you can counter her with lasers like Symmetra and Zarya, but it's still kinda nutty. But that just about does it for this video. Hopefully this video has encouraged you to pick up D.Va and learn how to play her in order to climb ranks on tank. On my channel, I do have a fairly old D.Va guide if you were looking for a more in-depth video talking about her playstyle, but there are hundreds of other guides on how to play her. She's a very popular tank, and rightfully so. She's very easily an S tier hero because of, well, everything that I explained in this video. Now get out there and start playing D.Va. If you get counterpicked by Zarya, then play Reinhardt, and then you'll get the true tank experience, the counter swap loop. It absolutely sucks, but it's bound to happen. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. I've got one more of these types of videos coming out at some point in the future surrounding DPS, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Maybe subscribe even if you want to. XOXO winky face. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.